Hello everyone and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. It's a pleasure to have you here again, ready to slip behind the velvet rope and into the rumor-fueled corridors of show business. Today, we bring you a murmur that grew into a drumroll, and a drumroll that is starting to sound like a confession. Fasten your seatbelts, because the whisper is the same one you've seen echoing across your feeds: love in the air. Yes, the buzz you've been hearing points to one thing. Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel just might have confirmed the romance fans have been dreaming about. That headline isn't a trick of the light. The pair that stole hearts on screen, the duo whose glances and pauses sent shippers into overdrive, seem to have stepped out from behind the veil. For anyone devoted to Turkish series, the names need no introduction. The stars whose chemistry charged Karasta, also known in several countries as Eternal Love, became the axis of speculation for months. Did the passion scripted as Veronikmal seep through the lens and settle into real life? Tonight, we sift through the clues and the crackling silence to see what's real and what's wishful thinking. Before we dive into the thicket of details, a quick reminder: if you love being first to the whispers and last to leave the dance floor of celebrity intrigue, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Secrets Behind the Stars is here to give you the context behind the headlines, and your support is the reason we keep going. Now, let's get to the heart of it. For ages in internet time, the Turkish press and social media sleuths have circled one storyline: a developing connection between Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel. From the first table read on Karasta, something electric hummed. Their scenes moved with a rhythm that didn't feel rehearsed. Their eye contact lingered half a beat longer than the director's shout of cut. Their rapport off-camera carried the warmth of familiarity. And, as always happens when art feels too alive, the public started wondering where the script ended and reality began. The chippers, the fans who collect clues like priceless antiques, went to work. They catalogued everything. Reflected sunglasses revealing the same cafe awning, a caption posted minutes apart with a matching lyric, a set of emojis in complementary colors, a laugh that reappeared in behind-the-scenes footage and in a late-night live. They nicknamed their characters Veronikmal and spun endless edits of stolen glances and nearly touches, stitching them together like evidence on a corkboard. Speculation never slept. Analyzing became its own fandom sport, and the scoreboard kept lighting up with details. So what turned low-key curiosity into this week's tidal wave? Until not long ago, all of this lived in the shadowland of maybe. Then a well-known Turkish entertainment magazine dropped an article claiming private meetups, polite words for late-night rendezvous, in places where cameras supposedly don't reach. The piece sketched out a chain of quiet dinners and discreet escapes, and whether you believe every syllable or not, the spark was enough to reignite the entire debate. Snippets from that story spread fast, were translated and retranslated, and then spun through timelines from Istanbul to Sao Paulo. Wherever Karasepta has fans, the conversation ignited. Now, official confirmation almost never arrives as a tidy PDF stamped and signed. The entertainment world trades in hints, looks, the refusal to deny, and the awareness that silence can be a statement. In that blurry zone, fans noticed something else. Barış and Yağmur's recent posts felt like a duet. A sunset that matched the horizon in her stories. A coffee cup with a distinctive crack that resurfaced on his grid. A playlist that began with the same track they once joked about in a press day blooper reel. These aren't confessions, but to their closest watchers, they read like winks sent across the room. Then came the interviews. When asked directly about their bond, professionally, personally, they sidestepped with grace. Smiles that hovered, answers that praised teamwork, phrases like, "We're lucky to have found such trust," or, "What we create together is special." No denial, no declaration. That in-between place can be louder than any yes or no, and it's there that the rumor mill thrives. It's important to remember the pressure cooker they live in. Paparazzi hunt for one frame that changes the narrative. DMs explode with theories, timelines, and amateur PR strategies. Karasta's success launched them into a higher orbit, and the higher you go, the thinner the air gets. Every word weighs more, every picture carries a story, every silence becomes a headline. But we also need to keep our feet on the ground. The entertainment machine feeds on anticipation. Fans project hopes, and media outlets shave nuance off for snappier headlines. A confirmation often grows out of patterns, resonances, and a stack of circumstantial hints. Still, the persistence of these signs, their rhythm, their timing, suggests that the dynamic between Barış and Yağmur shifted. Even if it started as pure professionalism, the boundary between scene partner and confidant can blur in the glow of long days, late nights, and shared victories. Let's talk fallout, or the lack thereof. Unlike some headline-making pairs, neither Barış nor Yağmur has a public spouse in the picture, which removes one layer of complication but not the stakes. Their families, managers, and brands care deeply about image and timing. Productions worry about what happens if private feelings collide with on-set tension. The Turkish press, never shy about melodrama, has already floated phrases like clandestine meetings and forbidden love, turning the volume to 11 as if real life were obligated to imitate the pitch of a soap opera. It's the style, it's the spectacle, and it's a mirror that sometimes distorts the face in front of it. And what about their careers? Karasta was an inflection point. It expanded their global reach and cemented them as headliners. If this romance is real and gains momentum, it could supercharge their celebrity profile, draw international offers, and attract producers who want lightning in a bottle again. Or it could corner them into a single narrative, two people defined by one storyline when their range is far wider. That duality is the gamble. Some audiences love a real-life echo. Others demand separation of script and reality. Meanwhile, the social feeds keep weaving the heartbeat of this story. A tagged location that appears in both timelines, 2 hours apart. A wristwatch visible in a candid that resurfaced in a mirror selfie a week later. Comments that avoid direct acknowledgement but carry warmth underneath. None of this is proof, but the mosaic grows. And the more intricate the mosaic, the harder it gets to pretend it's just random tiles. Here's another wrinkle. The interviews done together feel different from the ones they do alone. When sitting side by side, their rhythm syncs, finishing each other's thoughts, easing into laughter faster, granting the other the spotlight without blinking. Solo, they're careful, generous, but guarded. It's as if shared space lets the shoulders drop half an inch. Again, not a confession, just atmosphere. But atmosphere tells its own story. Let's not forget the audience's role. Chippers are detectives and dreamers. They've kept Veronikmal alive in edits and threads, in fan art and scene breakdowns that freeze on every hand graze and reverse engineer every close-up. They remember the set day when a storm hit and filming paused, and the two of them stayed in the tent, sharing tea. They cherish the goofy rehearsal where a prop kept breaking and the laughter wouldn't stop. These memories are currency, and the investment runs deep. What seems clearest now is the shape of a soft admission without the headline font. There's enough smoke to write poetry in the air. When asked about a boundary between them, they praise professionalism, but their eyes do the work of 1,000 adjectives. When a journalist presses, they choose kindness over denial, an artful dodge over a sharp line. It's the language of people who understand that what matters most doesn't always need to be spoken to be understood. Of course, there's a cautionary note. The glare can scorch. Private becomes public in the flick of a lens. And while they owe the audience the work, their hearts are not a series. They're human, with the right to define what is theirs and when to share it, if ever. Respecting that line is part of loving the story they've given us on screen. So, do we call it a confirmation? In this business, confirmations are mosaics rather than signatures. You stack the pieces. A magazine report about secret meetings, a handful of aligned posts, a silence that permits wonder, an interview that lets smiles hang in the air. Collectively, it reads like yes. Maybe not the yes of a press release, but the yes of two people letting the world adjust to a new angle. The ripple is already evident. Campaigns lean into their joint appeal. Streaming platforms repromote Karasta with their faces front and center. International blogs repeat the Turkish headlines. Local shows debate the ethics of prying, fans flood threads with hopes and cautions. It's the cycle, and they're at the heart of it, holding their poise, choosing each response with care. And if you ask us, we're romantics with our feet on the ground. The idea that the electricity of Veronikmal crossed the threshold into real emotion is captivating. Barış and Yağmur are magnetic together, calm and spark, sun and shade, two presences that make the frame feel bigger. Seeing them walk a red carpet as a pair would make timelines short-circuit. But even if all we ever get is this graceful almost, it's already a story. To bring it home, here's where we stand. We traced the long arc of whispers surrounding Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel. We mapped how a Turkish magazine's report, social media echoes, and interview nuances created a wide consensus. We looked at the stakes for their personal worlds, their brands, and their craft. And yes, the title of this video. Love in the Air, Barış and Yağmur confirm their secret romance, reflects the dominant reading of this moment, powered by the clues and the intensity of the reaction. Now it's your turn. Do you read their silence and shared signals as a soft launch, or do you think the fandom stitched a tapestry from scraps? Would you prefer an explicit statement, or do you love the elegance of a story told between the lines? Tell us everything below. We live for your theories, your edits, your timelines, your detective work, and we'll be right there in the comments with you. If you enjoyed this dive, show us some love with a like, send this to a fellow Karasta devotee, and make sure you're subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars so you never miss an update. This conversation isn't ending, it's just beginning. See you in the next one, where we'll keep following the glances, the music cues, the smiles that last a heartbeat too long. Until then, keep your eyes on the horizon and your notifications on high, because in this world, the next chapter arrives the moment you least expect it.